What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Blessed day, blessed day, blessed day. We're back with another teaching today. And today we're going to talk about what is a man spiritually. And of course, I have to go ahead and share this link out. So let me do that right quick. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate everyone that will co-create this event with me, and I love teaching you guys. I love learning myself, and I love exchanging these ideas. So let's see what we can do today. All right, so I got that link posted. So today we're going to be talking about what is a man spiritually, and I got my board up. Let me make sure my mic is good. Yep, looks like my mic is good. And we're going to take a little deep dive in here and to give people a better understanding what a man is, because I know in this society we love to talk about what is a man, what is a woman, the roles of a man, the roles of a woman. So I decided to not speak on it in a sense of roles or ideas that we create as, humans within a male body or woman body, but more of a spiritual sense. So this is more of a metaphysical, spiritual analysis of what a man is spiritually. All right. So we're going to get started, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Drink my water. Oh, my goodness. My water spilled over, y'all. Oh, that's funny. Let me wipe that up right quick. Here we go, though. All right, what is a man spiritually? Let's go into it. So what is a man spiritually? First off, we're going to start off with the Bible. And when you guys get to know me and my teachings more, I'll be teaching from a lot of documents. I research and study a lot of different themes in life and ideas in life. I grew up on the Bible, so I'm rooted in it. However, I do also teach and learn other aspects of life and God and spirituality that I'll be bringing forth. So in this particular case, the question is, what is a man spiritually? So based on what the Bible teaches, a spiritual man is concerned for others, seeks to serve them, and doesn't expect anything in return. So essentially what that's saying is a spiritual man is more of a servant to others and those he care about than anything. So that's the root of a spiritual man. Spiritual man is here to serve others without expecting anything in return. So that means spiritual man is going to be a good dad because he's spiritual. No other reason. Not expecting anything in return. Not expecting a clap on the back. Not expecting the returns on his investment of the energy he puts into his kids. He just does it because he seeks to serve them. He seeks to grow. He seeks to plant seeds. So he's not only doing it within the people around him, he's also doing it within himself, and that's why he can do that with people around him. So if you're trying to recognize what a spiritual man is or you're trying to identify one to connect with them, to learn from them, whatever, the first thing to look for is to see if he's a servant. All right. He lives by discernment, not his fleshly desires, and produces the fruit of the Spirit, which includes love, joy, and peace. So what we're going to do break down there is he lives by his discernment and not his fleshly desires. So, you can desire things that go against what you know to be good for you or healthy for you or in alignment with your truer self. So you may want to go get a beer and you need to be drinking water. So his discernment is telling him, we need water right now to stay hydrated. It's hot. It's 100 degrees. It's time to put some hydration in our system. His flesh is like, beer is great in the summer. Beer is great in the heat. It'll do the trick. So a man spiritually is disciplined. And it's not to judge or say that a man can't choose the beer. It's just to say you do have to pay attention to his decision making when it comes to himself and taking care of himself. Because a spiritual man is going to take care of himself first and foremost. So he also produces. That's important, y'all. A spiritual man produces, not just talk about, not just write things down, not just give you ideas, not just tell you. A spiritual man produces the fruit of the Spirit. So what's the fruit of the Spirit? According to the Bible, y'all. So if he's producing love, joy, and peace, that's what it says. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, and peace. Okay, now let's stop right there just for a second, y'all. Because that could be really the totality of this teaching. If you're around a man that's spiritual, and how do you recognize a spiritual man? It's if he is producing the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, and peace. So when you're around him, when you're in his presence, when you speak with him, when you think of him, the fruit of his production is love, joy, and peace. And that's really the end of this, you know what I'm saying? That could be the end. I'm going to go a little deeper, but y'all, come on. If you really dealing with a spiritual man, he's going to be producing and talking about love, joy, and peace. Not divisiveness, not inferiority, not drama, not any of the other stuff. It's going to be about love, joy, and peace and how you can get there. And the reason he knows how is because he's applying it in his life. So, gonna move on from that. However, the Bible also says that a spiritual man does not need to be a gifted preacher with extensive Bible knowledge. So, you don't only get wisdom from, the pastors and the preachers, and more love to them. Uplift those guys because they take on a task that many wouldn't walk in. So, love to them. But you don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to have extensive knowledge of the Bible. That's not to say don't seek it out if that's your choice. That's to say you can be spiritual with no knowledge of the Bible, no knowledge of any other teaching, because it has nothing to do specifically with your gaining of the knowledge. It's more about your being and producing the fruit of the Spirit. You can get better at it by gaining the knowledge, for sure. But you should be producing love, joy, and peace. All right. Now we're going to move on to the next one. What is a man spiritually, according to the Sage Journals? All right. A spiritual man believes that life has a higher purpose than just surviving. All right. Let's put a point there. So, essentially, that's why it's a big deal to find other ways to produce income for yourself, either through entrepreneurship or investing or just using your gifts on the side and allowing them to produce fruit for you. But a spiritual man believes that he has a higher purpose than just surviving. The reason you want to do these other extracurricular activities and bring them to the world is because you want to get beyond the place of just surviving. Because in your mind, if you're only living to survive, then you're not allowing yourself to imagine a world where that doesn't exist. You're afraid of the ideal, or you may even think it's impossible. Man, I'm trying to pay these bills. I'm trying to pay rent. I don't got time to worry about that stuff. I don't got time to learn more. I don't got time to study. I got to get it. So when you get in that mindset, you're rushing. You enter the rat race. You're not trusting in the abundance that is you and that is of God. So a spiritual man believes that he has a higher purpose than just surviving and lives in a world that has a spirit, soul, or spirits. So essentially what that means is a spiritual man don't feel like he's walking amongst just humans. He understands he's walking amongst spirits and souls that are choosing to create their own experiences and live out their own experiences and grow their soul and eventually go back home to God. So a spiritual man understands that he's not going to be speaking from a place of making you comfortable. When he speaks to you, it's going to touch your spirit because he's already walking in spirit. He already understands that. Okay? All right. A spiritual man, he commits to moral principles based on his spiritual beliefs and honors the numerous sides of his personality. So when you talk about personality, that's more of your ego. So when people hear ego, they typically, you may just negatively think of the ego as a negative thing, but no, the ego has a positive and negative side to it. So if you're honoring your moral principles based on your spiritual beliefs, that's positive ego. Your negative ego will try to steer you away from that. So if you're dealing with a guy or a man and he's disciplined and he's committed to his morals and principles and he's standing on what he believes in. Now, this is the thing with a spiritual man. What he's standing on, you don't have to agree with. But if he's standing on something that represents love in his eyes, and it's not based on fear or hate or divisiveness, it's based on love, then that still makes him spiritual. You don't have to agree with him. He doesn't have to agree with you. And that's okay. And a spiritual man understands that. He gives you an invitation into his world or his beliefs or his wisdom. It's just an invitation. He doesn't actually care if you accept it or not, because he knows what he's saying is coming from a higher place of purpose. And where he's coming from, it produces fruit. And not only does it produce fruit, he can show you the fruit by when you speak with him, when you talk to him, when you're in his presence. You feel it. It's a feeling more than a tangible thing that you have to see. It's a feeling. Okay? All right. Let's go. Warming up today, y'all. What is it? Spiritual. What is a man spiritually? So this is a hot topic right here. People automatically associate a man with masculinity, the energy of masculinity. So we're going to teach you something today. A man does not automatically mean masculine, spiritually speaking. So let's break that down. Masculinity alone does not make a man, spiritually speaking. Masculine energy is a spiritual concept that refers to a set of qualities traditionally associated with masculinity. But anyone can embody these energies regardless of gender. That's very important for y'all to know. Regardless of gender, Men and women both house masculine energy. So just because you see someone operating in masculinity, that doesn't automatically mean they're operating as a spiritual man. Because a woman can be operating in masculine energy. So, it's often described as an invisible force that's connected to positive, logical qualities like reason and intuition. So, the feminine energy isn't the only one that has intuition. It's just a different type. Masculinity, the masculine energy also has intuition, but also reasoning. Very reason-based, logical base to operate in that energy. And it's places and time for that energy to be the one you're operating in. And there's places and times where you shouldn't operate in that. And a spiritual man understands the balance. Now, when I say balance, that don't mean in every individual person, masculinity and the feminine energy should be 50-50. That's not what I'm saying. In some men, it needs to be 70-30 or 60-40 because their set of energies is particular to how God made them. So you have to understand that just because a man is showing more masculinity or not showing as much masculinity, spiritually speaking, that doesn't indicate if he's more of a man or less of a man. So it's a common belief that the common belief is that men predominantly default to masculine energy while women predominantly default to feminine energy. I don't have the stats on that, so I'm just reading that based on putting that from the journal. And when you think of a woman, you automatically think feminine. When you think of a man, you automatically think masculine. Understand those are just ideas that we came up with, and we associate it with each gender based on gender. So we have to start sifting through the idea that a man is simply masculine. It's not the case spiritually, y'all. Everyone carries both masculine and feminine energy within them. And one energy is usually more dominant than the other. And that's what I was talking about. The thing is, it's not a set in stone energy. It fluctuates. There may be points and times in your life you need to be masculine. Straight up. You need to go get it without reason. Without thought. You need to just go get it. Whatever you're after. And there's other times after you do that, you need to take a step back and be more nurturing to yourself, more caring. So you need both. And a spiritual man understands this. So if you're dealing with a spiritual man, understand he's working to a point where he balances particular to what he needs in his body, that masculine and feminine energy. But he's not drowning out one or the other completely, because both are important. So we're going to get into the next one. All right. Let me see, where are we? All right. So a spiritual man masters feminine and masculine energies. And here are some characteristics of masculine energy. Action oriented. That's what I was just talking about. Gotta go get it. Ruthless. Not to a negative degree, but in the case of being persistent. Being stable and taking action to make things happen. Your actions are the only thing that can create stability, because your actions are the language of manifestation here in the physical world. So you can't just have faith. You can't just talk about your ideas. You can't just dream all day and expect those things to manifest in your life. There has to be some form of action taken. Another quality of masculine energy is assertive. taking charge and being responsible for one's actions. So asserting the energy of let's get this done. No excuses. That's really good to have, at times. That's really good to have. And a spiritual man has this in him. Understand? He may not always use it, but understand it's in him. Logical. Applying logic properly and creating structures and rules. So logic in itself isn't always the solution to all your problems. And spiritually speaking, logic is a step down. Because you can only be logical within, your frame mind of work particular to you. But then you have God's mind, and God knows what's best for you. So once you surrender to that, you will only use your logic in the proper way, creating structures and rules, not necessarily for others, but for yourself, to keep walking the path of honoring your morality and principles. So that's what a spiritual man will do when he's operating his masculine energy. All right. Independent, fond of challenges and longing for admiration and appreciation. And that's a big thing that we don't talk about enough. As a spiritual man works on validating himself. However, receiving admiration and appreciation for what the hell he walks through to show you the fruits, that goes a long way, y'all. That amplifies the energy. That energizes him. So just as much as you deal with a spiritual man or see him on his path, or you're trying to get to know one, understand that admiration and appreciation is godly. It's everything. Okay? He's independent and he does his things his way. But his way, when it's recognized as, whoa, this is producing fruit. Whoa, this is changing lives. Whoa, this is a balance. It's peace. It's harmony. It's joy. That admiration and appreciation actually for you will create that energy and that space for you to receive it as well. Okay? All right. Creative. Able to think creatively and solve problems. So that masculine energy really is about solving problems. Sometimes in creative ways that the thing about creativity is it doesn't necessarily operate with logic, because a creative mind is more intuitive based, more of a feeling based. So when you're operating in your creative energy, you may solve problems in ways that nobody else has ever thought about. And that's what a spiritual man does. So it's not always just because it has been done this way for so long and so many years that that's the only way it can be done, or that's the most proficient way. A spiritual man will create his own way to get it done, y'all. All right, let's go to the last slide. What is a man spiritually? A spiritual man masters feminine and masculine energies. So a spiritual man doesn't just leave the feminine energy to women, because he understands he needs to process it and feel it and master it in order to make a analysis or a prediction or a structure to let it flow through him naturally, without resistance, without judgment, so that he amplifies his power in spirit, because it's already in you. So to suppress a feminine energy as a man, spiritually speaking, means you're not understanding that it's not about women or man. It's about you as an individual mastering and balancing yourself over and over and over again without rejecting new ideas, without operating in fear. Okay, so here's are some characteristics of feminine energy. When you're operating in masculine energy for so long, there may be periods in your time where you have to operate in feminine energy. It's a must, because it's the thing that's going to keep you healthy, you know. All right, being able to calm down easily. Oh yeah, so that feminine energy is soothing. So you may be super upset about something, but to have the ability to not let that upsetness take you out of character, and you're still able to calm down, that alone lets you know a person is operating in a spiritual sense, which this would be a feminine characteristic. Just being able to calm down. If you're fully in masculine, too bullish, too stubborn, too, you know. So there may be points in time in your life that's not the appropriate thing to do at that particular time, because you understand the balance that you need to have within yourself to maybe close a business deal, to maybe get that job, to maybe keep the job, maybe get that the woman you want, the man you want, etc. You know? So the ability to discern and lean on intuition. So yeah, that's a masculine and feminine trait. However, it's stronger when you're in the feminine side, the feminine energy. A woman knows. They know things that we can learn because they mastered or they understand their feminine energy. So that doesn't mean the men can't do the same. We just haven't been taught that it's okay to do the same. It's looked down upon, when really, spiritually speaking, you're supposed to balance both within your body, within your mind, within your essence. Okay? Taking care of and loving yourself. That's a feminine energy. And that's why I said when you're operating simply in masculine, that doesn't necessarily make you a man to have to sacrifice your body over and over again for pride to take care of your family. So that's where the feminine energy is important. Now you have to tap into feminine energy to take care of yourself, to even be able to continue those things without harm to your bottom line. Understand? It takes both, y'all. Being able to empathize. So empathy goes really far, especially in the spiritual sense, because now you can connect with people where they are and give them an opportunity or invitation to love them regardless of what's happened or their situations. It's not sympathy, but it's empathy. Sympathy is, oh, I feel sorry for you. Empathy is, oh man, I feel you. This is how I would handle that in your shoes if they so need that, or your discernment is telling you to say that. But this is how I would handle that. I really believe you can get through that. You're really stronger than you may believe right now. You got this. That's empathy, y'all. It builds up character. So if you're doing it, that's more of a feminine energy. And that's what I'm saying, that balance. Sometimes it takes less raw, do what I say, and more, oh, I feel you. So this is how we're going to stack on us being on the same frequency of feeling. I can feel that. So this is where we need to go. So you capture them with the feminine energy and you build it on the masculine energy of principle and producing fruit. So it's a balance. All right. Making judgments outside of rationality. So when you're operating in the feminine energy, you may not always need a rational solution, because what you're really seeking is the feeling of a solution. You want to feel it. And logic can take you out of feeling the solution. Because when you're operating too much in the logic, too much in the masculine, you may not ever get to the point of feeling like you've solved your issue, or feeling like it's on the way of being solved, because you're using too much logic. You're logicking it to death. All right. Another thing in the feminine energy is prioritizing feelings. And that's why I say you just have to find your perfect balance. There's times the feelings of things needs to be more important than the rational of things, or the discipline or stubbornness of things on the masculine side. There's times your child's feelings matter more than everything right now. So let's not operate in the masculine energy 100% of the time, y'all. And the spiritual man understands this. And like I say, it's everybody's percentages will be different, but don't suppress the other side, because you have both in you, and you have to master both and get that harmonious balance within you that makes sense for you. Because then you'll learn not to suppress somebody else's ideas or thoughts that's operating in a higher percentage of feminine or masculine energy. Okay. Another feminine trait is having good communication skills, being able to speak on your feelings, speak on your thoughts in a way that's articulate, in a way that makes sense for the other party to grasp. So when you read in these characteristics of feminine energy, this shouldn't be a threat to masculine energy, and masculine energy should not be a threat to feminine energy. A spiritual man understands this, y'all. Both are important, and both need to be used wisely at different points in times in your life. And guess what? It'll produce the fruits of joy, peace, and love, because that's what God ultimately is. So if it's not producing joy, peace, and love, you're not operating in the spiritual sense of a man. And a man is powerful, just like a woman is powerful. I'll do another video about the woman. This one's going to stay about the man. But understand, a spiritual man, he's in tune with himself, he's independent, but he also can operate in that feminine energy and create nurturing environments, creative environments, expanding environments for those he loves and those he comes across paths with. So, thank y'all for joining today. Being a man, a spiritual metaphysical analysis. My name is Justin. Thank y'all for being here, and I hope y'all learned something. Study this, man. Anything that I put out for y'all, just study it. Take your time. You don't have to listen to it just once. Go over and over it again, y'all. It'll make more sense. And the way that I do these teachings, I'm stacking on the last thing I just taught, so that it's more of a whole thing for you to grasp. And it's easy. It's edible. The first thing is knowledge, and then apply the knowledge. So you can spend your time just sitting here and going through my videos and just getting the knowledge. That's the starting point. But then start applying these things, y'all. Because the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Straight up. So I'm Justin with Vibrant Works. Thank y'all so much for being here and co-creating this experience with me, and just creating an environment where we learn, share ideas. And I'm a very spiritual man, so it was great to be able to teach these things. And it's been great to learn more about the feminine energy and how important it is and how much it's been suppressed in the society we live in. But now it's time to balance that within yourself first and foremost, and allow more of those things to come in, so that you may become the best spiritual man you can. All right, y'all. We out.